Hello, welcome back to Lettermen Row. It's the last edition of our 2019 Mobile Center mock draft. We've got Mark Bleeks from Mobile Center hanging out. He's also sponsoring us with the competition with that Bluetooth speaker that you all should be trying to win if you haven't yet. And that's Beanie Wells. He doesn't need any introduction around here at Lettermen Row. Today, after we've talked about Ohio State, we've talked about the top five. Now we're just going to narrow that focus a little bit more to the AFC North, keep it regional, talk about those rivals. And it's kind of weird, Mark. You're looking at this. Normally we're talking about the Browns. They've got to have a quarterback, and they've got multiple first-round picks. No action, but a pretty busy offseason for your team there.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, I have been waiting for this my whole life. I've never been so excited. The draft time of the year is usually where all my friends gather and we just talk about what the Browns should do and whatnot. And this year we actually get to relax for a change during the first round, and couldn't be more happy with the offseason.
We talked about back in that first episode with Ohio State, Draymond Jones being a good fit. If there's one area of the team that you still want addressed on those first couple nights of the draft, where would it be?
Offensive line. I'm just kind of nervous. You trade away arguably your best offensive lineman in Zeitler. Obviously, you are getting Odell Beckham Jr. in return, so I get it. But, I'm not sold on the guy they're plugging in from last year, Corbett, yet, just because he's unproven. So I think definitely some depth is needed. Right tackle could be a spot. Left tackle, is a little bit shaky, I'd say, right now. So offensive line would probably be where I'd look.
Beanie, could you imagine that we'd be sitting here, you growing up, and you'd be like, we're talking about the Browns being a Super Bowl contender and that they don't have to draft anybody?
Yes. I knew it was coming at some point in time. The pain, the mistake by the lake, all of that had to be over at some point, and we're here. Okay. I knew it was coming.
I'm sure you did.
Not at all.
But good stuff for the Browns. But we can't really break them down on a Mobile Center mock draft show. So we're going to have to look at the rest of the division there. And Mark, I know it pains you to have to pick somebody for the rival, the hated Steelers. But if you're filling this out on your Mobile Center mock draft, who do you have going to Pittsburgh?
Hopefully the worst player possible. No, I think that losing Antonio Brown, I know they replaced him with Moncrief, who, could be adequate. But you just lost the best receiver, over the past 5 years, I'd say. So I think that's a big hole. So I think they look at receiver. Maybe McLaurin is someone they look at there.
Yeah.
Maybe Paris Campbell. Hopefully not, because I don't want any more of my Ohio State guys going to Pittsburgh. But I think receiver is probably where I would see them going first.
Yeah, Paris and Terry would be two intriguing options, character guys there. Of course, Paris, coming from where he is, I'm not sure he's going to be thrilled to put on some Pittsburgh uniforms. But Beanie, what do you see over there for the Steel Curtain?
I see those guys going tight end. T.J. Hockenson, out of Iowa. You could say wide receiver, obviously losing Antonio Brown, but I don't think that the Pittsburgh Steelers have had success with drafting wide receivers in the first round. The last successful one was probably Santonio Holmes. What's the kid's name now? Their big time receiver, Juju. He was a second round pick, right?
Yeah.
So first round wide receiver and first round defensive back for Pittsburgh has never panned out really well. So I see them going tight end there.
True.
Another team we've talked about, interesting off seasons. I'm not sure if that even sums it up in Baltimore. I have no idea what's going on with the Ravens. I have no idea what kind of future they have in that organization right now, but they are going to have to draft somebody and start rebuilding. So Beanie, we'll start with you. If you're trying to get somebody going to get some juice for the Ravens, where are you going?
You know what? I'm not calling big play guy. I'm doing a safe pick for the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm doing so because we watched him last year win a lot of games with Lamar Jackson, but predominantly with a run-first type of offense. So I'm going to say they're going to take Jawan Taylor, offensive tackle.
All right. What do you got?
They lost Mosley, Webb, Weddle, and Suggs. Those are great names, big names that provided so much energy specifically to the defense. So for me, I think you got to make up that pass rush. I know Ozzie Newsome was churning them out, but he's gone now. So I really think they got to look at pass rush, middle linebacker, possibly receiver, but I think you got to at least replace some of what you lost. I do like their additions, Earl Thomas and Mark Ingram, but front seven I think needs some help.
Another team in the North which, boy, I've just been very confused. Even with what they did when they finally got Marvin out, and with the Cincinnati Bengals, I still don't really understand the coaching hire. I don't really know the direction of these Bengals. I have no idea what they're going to do in the draft. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Beanie. What can the Bengals do to get this thing right a little bit?
Hot take alert. Drew Lock.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Quarterback. We just saw last week that the owner, Mr. Brown, come out and say that they're not giving the quarterback A.J. Dalton an extension before the season. So they're going to make him play it out. But I can see those guys drafting a young quarterback and making him kind of wait behind A.J. And if A.J. has another year like he's had in years past, get him out of there next year.
Mark, what do you think for these Bengals?
I mean, I agree. I had quarterback as the biggest need. I think the ginger, it's time to move on from that guy.
It hasn't quite worked.
I think quarterback, obviously, they could get him maybe at 11, or they could move up, but I agree. I think that's where they're going.
All right, that's the AFC North. Mark, final prediction or early prediction maybe for the Browns record this year. What do you got?
I think they win 11 games. I mean, I like everything they've done. I feel great about the future, and they got a good young team, and I feel confident in the guy running it.
Beanie, 11 or more?
I'm going 11 too, man. They probably could have won realistically 10 games last year.
Yeah.
But so I'll go 11. It's a nice, safe win amount.
All right. Well, they haven't drafted yet, so the roster's not complete. Hopefully this helps. Maybe they get some information here from the Mobile Center mock draft. Dorsey probably doesn't need any of our help here, but make sure that you guys are competing with us at Lettermen Row. We're going to have all of that coming up and full coverage of the Buckeyes, everybody else down in Nashville as that comes up. Watch for that at Lettermen Row. That's Beanie Wells, Mark Bleeks from Mobile Center. I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you next time.